Hello and welcome to Yoga with Amanda. My name is Amanda and I will be leading you through a all levels flow. For this class, you'll need a yoga mat and two blocks and a blanket. If you don't have blocks, that's fine. And if you don't have a mat, feel free to use a towel or a soft blanket just to give some cushion under you. Let's get started in a comfortable seated position. And once you find your way onto your mat, might want to take a block or a book or even a blanket just to put under your sit bones, elevating your hips higher than your knees so your spine can have a natural curve. You don't have to strain to stay upright. Once you find your seat, let's take a second to just arrive. Moving from the outer, moving from our busy lives, and beginning to go towards the inner, connecting into our bodies, our minds, our breaths. Taking a moment to thank yourself for doing yoga today and showing up. Caring for yourself is non-negotiable. Let's take a second to check in with our body, check in with the physical body, doing a scan. How are we feeling today? Are there any areas that are holding any tension? Any areas with pain that we need to be a little careful with today? Just noticing what's there without judgment. Let's check in with the emotional body. How are we feeling today? Trying not to judge or go into story of why we feel this way. Just noticing what's there. Let's check in with the mind. How is the quality of the mind today? Are the thoughts running rampant? Is the thought stream fast? Or is the mind slow? Is there not much there? Are things calm or cloudy? Noticing our mind space the same way we would notice the weather outside. Just observing. Now moving into the breath, beginning to notice your inhales, noticing your exhales, not trying to change them or influence them. Just noticing your natural rhythm. How is the breath today? Now, during this mini meditation, we're going to use our breath as our anchor to the present moment. can use the mantra, I am breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. I am breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Trying to keep our focus on our inhales and on our exhales. I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. Palms can be face down for a grounding effect, or palms can be face up for an uplifting effect. So place them whether you need more ground or you need a lift. You can feel the support beneath you, supported by the ground, supported by your block, your blanket. And from that support, we can feel a gentle lift in the crown of our head and a grounding effect as we exhale. Inhale, feeling the gentle lift. It's called prana, rising. Exhale, feeling the grounding sensation, or apana. Begin to blink open the eyes. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. If you're using a block, feel free to remove it from your sit bones, and you can have your blocks right at the front of the mat. We're going to make our way onto hands and knees. So we want our wrists directly under our shoulders, our knees under our hips. Going to inhale, lift the head, lift the tail. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin, drop the head. Beginning to do some cat-cows, inhaling and lifting, exhaling and rounding. You can do this at your own pace, with your own breath, trying to link your breath with your movement. Inhaling, lifting the chest, head, tail. Exhaling and rounding, pushing the floor away from you. You can widen the knees, drop the hips, begin to walk the hands forward, find child's pose. You can rock your head onto the ground, massaging the forehead. Taking a second to set your intention for today's practice. I'd like to offer the intention of gratitude. Gratitude for your physical body, being able to practice yoga. Gratitude for your mind. Gratitude for each breath and each movement we feel today. Gratitude for this gift of life and the beautiful planet around us. We can begin to walk our hands and find our way back to hands and knees. We're going to begin to shift forward onto a knee plank and shift back into a child's pose. Getting some warmth in our shoulders and our hips. You can do this at your own pace. And if you have any knee pain, you can take your blanket and put that right under your knees, adding a little bit of cushion. Eventually, we can tuck the feet, tuck the toes as we start to move up. Then we can lift into a plank and shift back into a crouchy dog. Inhaling and exhaling, generating some warmth. Eventually, when you're ready, let's make our way into our first downward facing dog. You can have a generous bend in the knees and feeling all the bones of the fingers, all three knuckles, all the bones of the palms rooted into the ground, pushing the mat away and feeling that weight go from your hands to your arms, through the shoulders, up the spine, hips lifting tall, back of the legs long, knees can be bent, heels reaching towards the mat. Connecting back to our breath. I am breathing in. I know I'm breathing in. I am breathing out. I know I'm breathing out. Here for 2 more breaths. Your breath, your pace, your practice. You can move the blanket out from under you if it's in your way. And on an inhale, let's look between the hands and slowly walk our way towards the front of the mat. Taking a second here, hanging out in our forward fold. We can have a nice bend in the knees, letting the chest hang heavy onto the thighs. Drop the head, let the arms hang. Nice deep breath out. Big inhale. Nice deep breath out. On an inhale, slowly rolling up 1 vertebrae at a time, reaching our arms high to the sky for extended mountain. Exhale, bringing our hands to heart center. Taking a second here, noticing any changes in our body, changes in our breath. You can drop the hands by your side. Let's take a second to notice where we're putting our weight. We have 3 points of weight, 3 spots on our feet that we commonly bear weight on: the big toe mound, the baby toe mound, and the heel. So while you're standing, start to notice where your weight is. Is your weight in the front of the foot, near the toes, or does your weight live in the heels? This can depend on how you're standing, and a lot of times it's habit. So just start to play around where you're feeling your weight. And what would it be like if you tried to stand so that your weight was equal in all 3 points of weight in the foot? Equal in all 3 corners of the foot. On an inhale, arms lift high, extended mountain. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands meet the mat, step it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts high to the sky. When you lift, see if you can only lift your hips as high as they go before they start to become uneven. So rather than letting your hip lift up, what if you tried to keep your hips parallel to the mat? On an inhale, bring it between the hands, knee to chest. Inhale, knee to chest, step it through, lunge. Now, if you have blocks, this would be a good time to use them. And if you don't have blocks, feel free to keep your hands on the floor or bring your fingers to a tent. We're going to inhale, scoop our chest forward, head lifts. Exhale, straighten the front leg, drop the chest. Inhale, gliding forward. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, gliding forward. Exhale, straighten the front leg. You can do this at your own pace with your own breath. Now, the next time you find yourself in lunge, if you're using blocks, put them aside. Bring our hands to the mat. Step the leg back, finding our plank pose. Feeling all those bones of the hands, again, pushing away from the mat. Begin to drop your knees, your chest, and your chin to the ground. Palms at the bottom of the ribs, pressing into the mat. Inhale, lift the head, lift the chest. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, lower. One more time, inhale and lift. Exhale and lower. Now we can either stay here for our next one or we can push up into our upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Try to keep those hips parallel with the mat. Step the foot between the hands. Hip drops. Arms stay on the mat or reach for our blocks. Inhale, chest lifts. Exhale, straighten the front leg. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, straightening the front leg. Inhale. Exhale. Doing this at our own pace for a few more rounds. The next time you make your way to lunge, you can move your blocks aside if you use them. Hands place their way, hands find their way to the mat. Right leg steps back. Left leg steps back. And we begin to lower knees, chest, chin. Yogi's choice of your lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking a second here. Finding your breath again. I am breathing in. I know I'm breathing in. I am breathing out. I know I'm breathing out. Here for 2 more breaths. On an inhale, we can look between the hands and slowly walk our way up to the front of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, lower, forward fold. Inhale, begin to rise, one vertebrae at a time. Arms reach high, extended mountain. Exhale, hands at heart center. Inhale, hands lift, extended mountain. Exhale, lower, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to chest, step the foot in between the hands. Hip drops, chest lifts, crescent lunge. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, get a little taller. Exhale, left heel drops, arms open. Warrior two. Inhale, reach forward, palm flips. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale, right elbow to right knee. Exhale, left arm reaches towards the corner of the room. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, windmill the hands to the ground, step it back. Plank pose, lower down, knees, chest, chin. Inhale and rise. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to chest, step it between the hands. Hip drops, chest lifts, crescent lunge. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, arms reach a little higher. Exhale, right heel drops, arms open, warrior two. Inhale, reach forward, flip your palm. Exhale, reverse your warrior. On an inhale, left elbow to left knee, right arm reaches towards the corner of the room. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, windmill it down, finding your plank pose, lowering down knees, chest, chin. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're here for 3 breaths. Feeling those fingers rooted into the mat, strong arms, long spine, hips reaching high, back of the legs long, heels reaching towards the ground, head is heavy. I am breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. I am breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. On an inhale, you can look between the hands, slowly begin to walk your way to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise, extended mountain. Exhale, hands to heart center. You can drop the palms, noticing any changes in the body, changes in the breath. We're going to make our way onto the mat into our Baddha Konasana, or cobbler's pose. So you want your feet touching, knees out. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, you can lower our hands to the ground. Trying to keep a long spine here. Our goal isn't to reach our nose to our toes. Trying to bring our belly button down and keep a long spine. Stretching into those hips. can walk our way up, place our hands on our shins, our knees, for some seated cat-cow movements. Inhale, chest moves between the shoulders, chin lifts. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, chest scoops forward, head lifts. Exhale, spine rounds. Inhale, exhale. You can do this at your own pace. Eventually, making our way back to neutral, we're going to find our way onto our backs. And we're just going to bring some windshield wiper movements into the hips. So if we're near a wall, you might want to scoot over a little bit. So you're going to have your feet mat's width distance apart, and arms can be at goalpost arms or a T. On an inhale, we're going to drop our knees to the right side. The head looks to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, look to the right. Knees drop to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, knees to the right, head to the left. Doing this at your own pace, your own breath. Finding your way back to neutral. Let's bring our knees into our chest and give them a big hug. Squeezing them in. You can drop your left foot onto the mat. Keep your right knee in and place the right ankle on top of the left knee. Invitation to stay here. Or you can bring that left knee in, interlace the fingers behind the knee. You can place the left foot to the mat, knees come back in. This time, holding on to the left knee and dropping the right foot to the mat. Left ankle to right knee. Invitation to stay here, or bring the knee into the chest, interlacing the fingers. You can bring the foot back to the mat. We're going to begin our final resting pose, Shavasana, making your way onto the mat. Legs long, arms by our sides. Taking up as much space as feels appropriate. You can begin to wiggle out the body, getting rid of any kinks, finding a nice, comfortable position, laying on our mat. If we would like some socks on or a blanket so we don't get cold, it's always the invitation to do so. Taking a moment to arrive in your Savasana, letting the practice marinate in our body, in our minds, taking a second to notice where our bodies, taking a second to notice where our bodies meet the mat, noticing our little islands of weight and sinking in to those islands a little deeper, completely giving ourselves the floor, surrendering to gravity completely. Feeling your bones from the toes up to the feet, the legs, thighs, hips, spine, rib cage, collarbone, shoulders, arms, fingers, neck, head, teeth, noticing our bones, inviting our muscles, our joints, all of our flesh to soften around those bones, get a little heavier as we surrender to gravity. Eventually beginning to wiggle our toes, wiggle our fingers. Maybe we blink the eyes open and stretching in any way that feels good. And when we're ready, rolling on to one side, finding our fetal position. Head can rest on our arm like a pillow. And then using our hands to help ourselves up into a seated position. Hands come to heart center. Honoring your practice, honoring your intention. May we bring this energy into the rest of our day. Hands at third eye and bow. The light in me honors the light in you. When you are in this place in you, and I am in this place in me, we are one. Namaste.